Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to Two Online by Boys Club. This is a podcast where we share what is happening on the internet. We explain the internet to people. We call it an auditory for you page. Usually we have two stories. Sometimes we bring on a guest and we talk about viral videos, subcultures online, and things that we really love on the internet. So that's what this podcast is. You can subscribe via whichever platform you're listening.
Anyone.
And please do subscribe.
Also, hit a little like on that as well. It really helps with something. I'm not quite sure what, but people tell us to say.
If anybody has any idea, please let us know. Okay, so today we have two great stories. We bring on Cait Poli, who is on the Boys Club team. And if you follow us on any social media platform, you know and love her. She has the little clips in her hair, if that helps bring it to life. And she digs into a story around a Notion template where a angel investor got raked over the proverbial internet coals. And then you share a story about an Italian influencer who had a similar fate based on a misstep, a public misstep, correct?
Yeah, correct. We go from San Francisco to Milan in this episode, so strap in. Hey, Natasha, what is crypto to you?
Crypto is so much more than charts and gains. It's a whole new financial system, entirely new technological rails to enable creativity, ownership, wealth building, and more. Free of credit scores and spending habits, Kraken is your easy-to-use, newbie-friendly bridge to this whole new world.
Everything can be better, so why not finance? To get started, go to kraken.com/boysclub, sign up in just a few minutes, and see what crypto can be.
Not investment advice, crypto trading involves risk of loss. Cryptocurrency services are provided to U.S. and U.S. territory customers by Payward Ventures Incorporated, PVI, DBA, Kraken. A very special guest on Two Online today, Cait Poli, who is full-time on the Boys Club team. Big announcement. Also,
yeah, huge.
Heard it here first. If you follow us on any social media platform, you've seen this lovely lady. She covers all things internet, fashion girly, social media extraordinaire, and she is very Two Online. So, Caitlin, thank you for joining. Or you go by Kate. I call you Caitlin for some reason.
Either or is fine. My LinkedIn is Caitlin. My Instagram is Kate.
Oh, I'm giving LinkedIn energy.
You're giving LinkedIn, but we're going to be talking about that. So
okay, so just for the listener, I want to fill you all in on how Kate has shown up to record this podcast today. She is wearing what I can only describe as a Call of Duty headset, the big ear, like over ear headphones, and then a Britney mic up
exactly
to the front,
what I would have called it.
but also wearing a Realtree hat that says God's favorite on it. So just really first action shooter. What do they call it? First player shooter energy getting from Caitlin this morning.
It's giving 12-year-old boy.
It is.
And that's pretty on brand for me. So,
okay, tell us your internet story. Let's hear it.
All right, today, like I said, we're going to be talking LinkedIn cringe, but this one started on Twitter. So I don't know if you've heard of the Notion couple. It went viral for a hot sec. As of April 6th, a tech investor got brutally roasted after he posted his shared Notion board with his wife and like how they manage their marriage. And some people, weirdly enough, were like loving it. I just find it hilarious. And then some people are just like roasting this man because he's giving such LinkedIn energy. Like, you know, angel investor, like hustle, grindcore guy. So please
I know
let
him.
me.
I know him well. Wait, Kate,
Ben Lang is his name.
What's his name?
Wow.
If we're just going to dox him. No,
Let's dox him.
He's doing well. So it's a good story for him. The first tweet was, my wife and I use Notion religiously to manage our day-to-day life. Here's a screenshot of our setup. I turned this into a template. Let me know if you'd like to see it. So screenshot of the I don't know if anybody uses Notion. I use it. I find this like close to home, very funny because me and my husband are like the two most unserious people you'll ever meet. Nothing is. That's why we couldn't do like vows at our wedding. We were like, we're just gonna be joking, and no one will understand. The people that started like coming after him, the responses. You know that meme where it's like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And Taylor Swift is like kind of like looks like she's yelling at him on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And this one says, I told you to put everything in the Notion doc. Yesterday's Whole Foods trip wasn't logged.
Oh, no. Okay, can you explain what the Notion, like when you say that they're managing their marriage in this Notion doc, what does that mean? Like, are they scheduling dates? Are
Gina's
they
like asking for a friend.
I'm like, I might need that template.
Okay, so we have life, shared to-dos. We have grocery list, important info, passport numbers, our principles, which is what people attacked for sure.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of surface area for criticism, I fear.
For risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk
Right.
surface area for sure.
Chores, planning and budget, very normal. These are very normal. Trips, if you're like a type A person, you want things on a calendar. Date night, one-on-one.
Date night document is the most depressing thing I've heard in a really
Sexy.
long time.
Very sexy.
But again, these are the kind of things like I do as a joke. I'll send a calendar invite and be like, performance review or one-on-one. And it's just like date night. So other section says matchmaking. I don't know what, single friends we'd love to set up was in the template. That was the matchmaking. I'm like, that's a interesting one. And our apartment. So I get that too if you're trying to like furnish an apartment or, I don't know, pay the bills. I guess that would go under budget.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that in their defense, it sounds like this couple has really clear communication with one another and are really expert at knowing what their needs and wants are and being able to have an open dialogue about it. And for me, that's kind of a mark of maturity.
Agreed.
Wow, Dina, hot take. I'm going to go on the other end of just to play devil's advocate. I like some of these things. I'm type A. I send calendar invites to my husband sometimes for various things. Usually it's plans with other people, but just to mark it on the calendar, the admin of life, sometimes does require it. But I will say what is cringe about this to me and why I think the onslaught of feedback that he got is appropriate is not that you made this Notion doc and that you use this Notion doc. Some of those things, that's fine. Some of them on there I don't like and personally find annoying for them to do. What doesn't work for me is the post on Twitter. That's where it completely breaks down. And they go from being organized, type A, wow, they found each other, great, but unlikable people, to this is a problem and it's rage bait. That's where it breaks.
You want to know also what it brings into the equation? It makes it performative, which at that point I'm like totally uninterested in it. And I think that's where the cringe level gets to 10 for sure.
Yeah, off the charts. For
yes.
Sure.
Little nuance too, because I did some digging. I was like, he's got to be active on LinkedIn. Like this man, for sure. And turns out he was one of Notion's first employees.
Okay.
And worked as a community manager for about 5 years. And so I was like, okay. And then when I did further digging, he's like now a brand ambassador. I was like, this is him just working at this point.
Oh, forget
it's
it.
a paid
Forget
post?
it. Bury this man. Bury this man.
Because I was on Dina's side, / still am. I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm like, everything's entertainment for me. I'm like, whether you're taking yourself too seriously or you're just like, and you're not aware of the joke or like you're just trying to get clickbait. I'm like, I'm entertained, so I'm happy. But yeah, knowing that this guy is just like trying to get the money, trying to collect the coin, and he's posting the receipt, literally the receipts now online. So he's screenshotting, he's creating this narrative now. I worked at Notion as a community manager for almost 5 years, just under, and 7+ years it took me. But here I am now, like creating this template and selling it for the first time. I made my first buck, if you will. So he's like kind of like people put their first dollar in a restaurant and tape it or frame it. He's like screenshotting and posting his first like $8 for the template. And then his boss DM'd him, his old boss at Notion, the founder, and said, "You are so good at Twitter now, period. I am so LOL." And he also screenshotted that and posted it. So he's just like, hey guys,
I do not like this man. I do not like this man.
You're in it for the long run here, and now we don't like him.
This is deep state work for the Notion Corporation. And I think that, I want these people to be happy and have a long life and happy marriage. I want them to do it in private. That's my take. That's my take.
It's a fair take.
Any other favorite like memes, retweets, replies?
My favorite have been from Twitter user Tweet Davidson. He always makes me laugh, but he has this graph of the divorce rate, and like at a moment where it peaks, he just put Notion created. It's so good.
Very good. Wow. Good stuff.
Cait.
Really, I'm so happy that you are here to report on this. I saw this going around the timeline and I was like, I need to know what's happening there, but I can't invest. And you invested deeply, and I love that about you. Cait has made a deck documenting what has happened here. And that link will be in the show notes. Please check it out. Canva.com link. It's beautiful and really gives the play-by-play for all of our listeners. Thank you for coming on. I hope this will be the first of many. You are our internet reporter internally and externally on social. So we just got to bring you into the pod, a reoccurring segment.
I mean, I would be honored. Should we sell the Canva template? Let's do that. It'll be full circle.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Cait.
Thank you.
When you're first getting started with crypto, it can be scary. Am I doing this right? Is this just like my bank or a trading app? How is it new and different?
Well, that's why we love Kraken. They have a 24/7, 365 customer support team that's there to hold your hand all along the way. This isn't a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday bank. This is crypto. It's all the time. Anyone's welcome. Open door policy. Come one, come all. Try something new at kraken.com/boys club.
Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss. Cryptocurrency services are provided to U.S. and U.S. territory customers by Payward Ventures Incorporated, PVI, DBA, Kraken.
I'm so excited to share the story with you.
Wow, great. Let's hear it.
Mostly because I feel like it checks a lot of boxes for you. We're in Europe, which I know you love.
Love. My spiritual home.
It involves desserts and treats. And you'll always go in on a treat.
I love treat. Should we get a little treat this morning? Is how we spend a lot of our trips.
Okay, have you heard of Pandoro Gate?
I have not.
Okay, do you know what a Pandoro is?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, is it the... Never mind. I don't know what it is.
No worries. I don't want you to mess this up because a Pandoro is an Italian Christmas cake.
Okay.
Similar to a panettone.
Okay.
But do not get the two mixed up.
Ooh.
Because the Italians knives out.
Okay.
I was on a TikTok and I was looking at the comments and enraged that someone could have mixed up Pandoro with panettone. They're two different cakes. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so Pandoro Gate. Do you know the Italian influencer Chiara Ferragni?
I don't.
Chiara Ferragni.
I don't know who that is. No.
I'm trying to get the pronunciation right. I think I've got it right. She has 29 million followers on Instagram.
Oh my God. So micro.
A nano influencer. I'm sure you've crossed paths with her online at one point. She was honestly like a blogger and is a millennial. And
as most of them are. A blogger?
Yeah, totally. She went the blogger to Instagram influencer pipeline. She hit it hard. So, and she has a couple kids and families, and her fame is really built around, similar to all the bloggers at the time. Like, she was a fashion blogger and she would do like habits of the day, and then she had kids and got married and like started being very transparent about her kids and husband and all this. And she's
classic pipeline.
Classic pipeline. Do you recognize her face?
I don't know this person at all.
Okay. So for those who might not know, she's, just to give a visual, pretty blonde white woman, your classic I don't know.
Influencer. Classic
influencer. She's classic influencer.
No notes around like the
canonical influencer, white woman.
She's
influencer.
not taking any risks with
no
her
risks.
Looks.
Chiara Ferragni has this whole career. She has a media company, as evidenced by the Instagram. She's very famous in Italy. Very, very famous in Italy. She has a cosmetics company, an accessories company, and she's doing a lot of stuff. At Christmas, this past Christmas, she partnered with a cake company to put out Pandoro cakes that were branded Chiara Ferragni.
Can we just like define what is a cake?
It's like a panettone cake in a box, like a fancy cake in a box, like a flour-based, arguably quite dry.
Okay.
It's more of a bread. It's like a bread cake hybrid.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like what challenge this would be on the Great British Bake Off.
Do you punch it when you bake it? There's like this famous cake that people make that's bread-like that I do believe is Italian. That part of the process is you let it rise, and then after it rises to a certain point, you punch it to get all the air out, and that's part of the process. But
perhaps I will say it's quite a fluffy cake, so I would think that punching it would maybe make it more dense.
okay, let's get eyes on the cake.
Let's get eyes on the cake. It's not super relevant to the story,
Okay,
but
it's
I
okay.
think
We don't have to.
No, I think it's important. I want you to
Briefed.
see her.
Okay, this cake. Yeah. Not
It's-
for me. This is not a cake for me. It's a bread based. It's almost like I don't want to offend any Italians who may be listening. It's not this, but it's in the family of a pound cake.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as good. I think a pound cake is probably.
Oh, I love a pound cake. A little
It's
butter on
probably
that.
better.
Oh my god, amazing. This is a dry bready cake.
This is a dry bready cake. My mom loves panettone or Pandoro cakes. It's a kind of a old lady thing, I got to say. Like it's a little bit of
also,
that.
sometimes your mom, your origin story gears towards stuff that I personally can't understand. Like you love cabbage. The amount of cabbage you guys eat is like unreal. Like, and the crackers. There's things that, anyway, you guys like a dry, crunchy thing that I don't really get.
It's in our blood. I will say the culture that has the worst Christmas cake, and I'm putting
English.
myself, the British.
Oh my God. Horrible taste in food.
Raisin based.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah, we
Why
actually
would
have
you
one.
want a dry raisin in a dry cake?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I think they would argue that it's not dry. They would argue that it's like it's all dried fruits, but it's like in kind of a wet.
Disgusting. Ew, even
But
worse.
I swear, for the listener, my husband Dave is British, and they love these cakes. I have one in my cabinet waiting for next. They're all preservatives, so they just stay. We have one right now that's in our cupboard waiting for next Christmas.
next Christmas. That's insane. That's an insane situation. Okay, back to this.
Okay,
influencer cake.
so Chiara partnered with the Pandoro Cake Company this past Christmas, and she made a special edition sort of box and label that was like the Pandora Cake by Chiara or whatever, and they were basically saying that they're going to sell this cake at a premium. So normally it goes for 370 euros, and they were going to sell it for €9, which is over twice the price. And they were going to be donating money to a children's hospital charity type thing in Turin.
Okay.
And so there was this whole campaign around how they're going to sell these expensive cakes and they're going to donate the money to charity. And it was Chiara was promoting it and everyone was like feeling really good about it. And it was these like fancy cake, whatever. Someone does some incredible investigative journalism work and finds out that a 50,000 euro donation had been made to the charity in like November beforehand.
Okay.
And that there was no further donations made, nor were they intended to be made.
How do they know that they weren't intended to be made? That seems presumptuous.
Well, I think it's like it's April and they weren't made.
Okay. It had not. Okay. Yeah.
They had not been made. And I think it was like it wasn't really disclosed that this $50,000 donation had 50,000 euro donation had been made, and so then it was like, wait, what's going on? Why they had donated, and was she and the cake company not planning to donate again?
Okay.
So chaos ensues
Online. Yeah.
online. The Italian Prime Minister
Oh my God.
calls out Chiara.
What?
Yeah, Giorgia Meloni, she dunked on Ferragni. And basically, Italy's antitrust authority put up a case that's basically like customers were led to believe that they, in buying this cake, were going to be donating to this charity, and no future donations related to proceeds were made. And she gets slapped with a lawsuit.
Ooh.
And the cake company gets slapped with a lawsuit. So she's in hot water. She issued an apology on Instagram that is in Italian. So I'm unable to participate in that. But I think basically, from what I can tell, she's saying she's sorry. She's going to return the money. The cake company is saying they're sorry. They're going to return the money. She has lost some followers. I'd say not a whole lot, but she has lost some. From what I'm seeing and from Google translating, a lot of her the sentiment on her posts are like her people supporting her.
So you didn't Google Translate the apology? Curious if she addresses.
She's a monologue. It's a monologue.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a video. It's not a notes app moment.
She's not. I mean, there's notes, but she's video. She's face to camera, like
Okay.
you know, like messed up makeup a little bit and looking.
Yeah, of course. You've got to look
repentant.
disheveled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Upset. Yeah.
There is another layer to the story, which is that there are also rumors of a divorce that's happening at the same time, and her husband has come out with a bunch of stuff. I don't really want to get into that part of the story because it feels like
Personal.
honestly none of my business, but that's another thing that a lot of people are talking about online related to this.
Okay,
And
she's having a bad month.
she's having a bad month, and I will say, like, my only note on sort of the personal and divorce side of the story, which is kind of just like a note more generally for folks, is that the knives of the online mob seem a lot sharper for people who had made money previously off of like being really intimate and sharing like who had made money off of sharing the intimate details of their life, like sharing pictures of the kids and sharing photos and everything about their marriage and about how great their marriage is and all the stuff.
Tough.
When you do that, when you make your money off of that,
Wow, it's really a theme of this episode. We have
it is
the
the theme of
notion
this episode.
guy, and then we have a little bit of Chiara or whatever. How do you name?
Chiara.
Chiara. And it's like public performance around your relationship puts you. There's a lot of surface area for risk.
Totally.
You're upsetting a lot of people. Either
Totally.
way, yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Honestly, don't even
Do it.
put photos of your partner online. Like,
I don't.
just don't. I don't
Just
either.
Why? It's my personal business.
Totally.
What do you need to know about it? You know? Why both of us have literally negative followers on most platforms. We're like, take our advice. This woman has 27 million people who are invested in her life, and I'm like, why would she do that? Oh my gosh. Okay, well this is dramatic. I'm curious to hear from the hospital. We've heard from the Prime Minister. I'd like to hear from the CEO of this hospital.
Well, I think the CEO of the hospital is probably pretty happy now because she's going to make she's going to donate now. She's been
great.
called out.
Yeah,
Callout.com.
She can't. Yeah. Wow, thank you for your reporting.
Yeah.
Great
anytime.
stuff.